everyone? Anthony Fantano here. And ow, internet's busiest music nerd. And I'm psyched to be reviewing music for you guys on a regular basis. Jessica Pratt, self-titled. Jessica Pratt is a San Francisco singer-songwriter who takes a pretty vintage approach to writing and recording. Folk music is Pratt's drug of choice, and you know, even though there's quite a bit of folk music out there today, modern folk music, Pratt's, I guess, sort of approach to it just sounds completely alien to the Fleet Foxes and the Bon Ivers and the Mumford & Sons. Stylistically and emotionally, Pratt clearly comes from a time that is before the loudness war and digital recording techniques and the internet. Though revivalism and bringing back older trends in music is quite in vogue in the internet age, so... And when it comes to that, Pratt's aim is really basically contemporary folk in the 60s. Artists like Joan Baez and Joni Mitchell. And Pratt brings a very simple, skeletal, raw, and warm album in this style. This LP is pretty much guitar and vocal with the occasional background voice or sort of vocal guest. And Pratt carries this very slow, patient, and pretty theme throughout the entire album. Now, I just mentioned the vocals. Let me go back to them. They might be the most original and interesting thing on this entire LP. Something that, despite the simplicity of the music on this album, may come out and grip you and make you think, hey. Jessica's got a very light voice, a very nasally voice. It's got kind of this weird little vibrato on it. It's actually quite lovely, kind of enchanting. Maybe in kind of a Joanna Newsom sort of way, but not as strange or as alienating. The opening track of this LP lays out this canvas of very gently finger-picked arpeggios over which Pratt just dishes out these pleasant vocal melodies, just brushing them with finesse left and right. And even though the makeup instrumentally of this album is simple, I like that Pratt does develop her vocal melodies. Her vocal melodies are anything but simple and kind of somersault, do backflips, swell in volume, fall down. There's a lot of detail to the way she sings over these guitar arpeggios. Now, the lyrics that Pratt is singing don't really come off as terribly direct on this LP. She's not really the most urgent of storytellers, but nonetheless comes off very sincere and emotive in the things she says and sings about. For the most part, Pratt relies on disjointed visuals of summer days and dragging her feet across a parking lot, Hollywood, rivers, mirrors, roads, lovers. It's like a calming, friendly, personal, and welcoming word salad, or sort of like a cherished compilation of experiences that Pratt sings about very fondly and handles like mementos. Now, this LP, from what I understand, is kind of a compilation of recordings that were written and created over the past 5 years, so this album doesn't really come off as a wholly conceived collection of tracks. However, despite the sort of samey sound, songs do stick out, and it is just a testament to Pratt's ability to songwrite that actually happens. Jessica does drop off little melodic or lyrical quirks in each track that does kind of at least make them stick out enough to feel like I'm progressing through the album, like the oohing vocals at the start of the track, Half Twain the Jessie, which is a strange song title. The track Streets of Mine has Jessie reaching into her falsetto, and to me it's really one of the more straightforward tracks chord progression-wise on the entire album. Pretty catchy, and over the bridge there's an interesting chord change that on paper I wouldn't think would go over that well, but she really pulls it off with some finesse. And one of the final tracks on here, Titles Under Pressure, has this finger pick pattern where Jessica basically throws in this heart-wrenching descending bass melody that I imagine she's pulling with her thumb as she's going along with this song, and it is just, it's a standout moment on the LP for me. As far as negatives go on this LP, there are tracks on here that do kind of pale in comparison to others. There is kind of a lack of sonic variety, like I mentioned earlier, because this album isn't really conceived as a holistic piece. And some of the moments on here that do kind of break instrumentally the consistency by throwing in like another vocal or something like that, like the closing track Dreams, the extra vocal on there, it's not even really performed all that well, and it just kind of makes the song feel weird. Plus, a lot of similar finger picking patterns are used throughout this entire LP, and there are even some moments where there are just some glaring mistakes, like right at the beginning of the song Casper, which, I mean, really kind of has the song off to a sort of shaky start. I have to say, Jessica Pratt on this LP does kind of just play the guitar acceptably. You know, the guitar playing just kind of does what it needs to do. If I were to hear more releases from her in the future, I would love to hear just a bit more flair from her playing. I do think there's a pretty strong foundation here, and that kind of has me excited. While I am not in love with this LP, if things into the future get kind of fleshed out and built upon instrumentally, production-wise as well, Jessica Pratt could be, you know, kicking butt. Kind of feeling a light decent 7 on this LP. What did you think of it? If you've given it a listen, did you love it, hate it, why? What should I review next? And that's it. Thank you for watching. I love you. Anthony Fantano, Jessica Pratt, forever.